Okay. Hi, and welcome to Rotation UK Radio. You're tuned into Let's Chat with Shirley B, and you're joined with me, Shirley B, for a conversation today. But before I introduce my guest in the conversation, just to say you can listen to the shows Sundays and Thursdays at 7 o'clock just by downloading our very own personal app via the Play Store. So without further ado, I will welcome my guest, Ebony. I was going to call you your real name.
Both.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I'll call you what you're known as, which is Ebony, a speaker and coach, and I'll allow you to introduce yourself and talk about what you do.
Okay. Hi, Shirley. Nice to meet you again after all these years.
I know.
I think, when did we meet? Probably about 20 years ago. Maybe.
Yeah, that long ago.
That long.
Yeah, ages ago.
Ages ago. But really nice to be in your studio, and thank you for inviting me today to have a conversation with Rotation UK.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about what we're going to talk about. So let me tell you a bit about me.
Yep.
So I am a speaker, also a coach to quite a few people. I have a day job as well. So in my day job, I deliver skills to leaders in the workplace, and I've been doing that for quite a few years now. So I have a side hustle and a main hustle.
Oh,
but yeah, it's great to be here just talking about maybe the side hustle side of my life.
I'm here for it. I'm here for side hustle talk. I've been here for side hustle talk for years, and I love a side hustle talk. So Today we're going to be talking about, passion, purpose, dreams, side hustle, all that good stuff. So we'll just let it flow. I've got a few questions, but then I have to be, bang on,
Okay.
Me and Sandra are very good at talking, so you get a lot. So tell us about your side hustle.
So my side hustle is really the coaching, the training that I do with people. So I have a real passion to empower as many people as I can in the next year. I mean, really, I did put a figure of 1,000 people on my vision board. But really, my plan is to just help people to find their voice.
Okay.
And finding your voice means that you too can speak up in the workplace, in your home, find your voice when you might want to speak to an audience of any kind. Just be empowered to speak your truth. And that's really my goal, primary goal. And I think there's lots of people out there who need to communicate more effectively. And my job this year is really to empower people to do just that.
Okay, so to find their voice. So why did you want to start coaching in that way? Was it like something that happened with you, or people were coming to you? And what kind of people do come to you for that kind of coaching? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I have all sorts of people who really come across my path when it comes to coaching. I don't have a particular group that I work with. I kind of work with anyone who really feels like, for whatever reason, they might have lost their voice. Mm-hmm. And so, for example, one of the people I'm coaching this week, she is in quite a large family where she feels powerless to stand up for herself. So we have been working on confidence building, how she can find her voice in her family, just really dealing with situations where you need to speak up and assert yourself. She struggles with that. And so my job is really just to help her with techniques, with her sharing her story with me regularly. Like, this is how you take command of your life and your situation, and you find your voice so that you can be respected in that arena. And there's a lot of us that are in various arenas in life. It could be in the workplace, it could be with a partner, it could be, in a family like she's in, it could be in business, it could be in so many different spaces that you're feeling like, actually, I don't have the confidence to project this voice that God's given me. And so I'm trying to get people to find that gift that we all have, to find that voice that's kind of stuck inside and that struggles to get out for different reasons. And it could also be those people who may have gone through some trauma, and trauma may be domestic abuse, or, you know, that's how we met.
Yeah.
You know, and or it could be a loss. Recently, I lost my dad, also lost my ex-partner. If you have had loss, that can stifle your voice. For example, this week, or no, it was a couple of weeks ago, somebody told me on Clubhouse that he'd been following my rooms. I'd been doing rooms on how to release your voice and speak powerfully. And he'd been coming to my room, unbeknown to me, with this problem of being on the autistic spectrum, but not feeling like he was confident enough to speak in situations, normal situations that we take as normal situations, i.e. a room where people are discussing different topics. He couldn't project, he couldn't speak. And come into the room where we were talking about releasing your voice, suddenly he found the confidence from hearing us doing various exercises. Me facilitating people actually talking about their stories, their history, their life, some of the struggles they've been through, some of the trauma they have experienced along this journey called life. He felt, after hearing all those stories and watching our exercises and taking part in some of the exercises himself, he felt the confidence to start to speak.
Wow.
And he gave such a powerful testimonial. I started crying.
Oh.
I just heard him on a show speaking in Clubhouse about his experience of being in my room. And I just popped in. Yes, I popped in with my cup of tea, like, yeah, let me have a quick chat, listen to this Clubhouse thing, because I hadn't been on for a little while. And he said, oh, I'm glad you came into the room, Ms Ebony. And I was like, oh, called me out. Why is he calling me out? So then he said, yeah, I need to tell you my story. And he said, I want to say how thankful I am that I met you and that you were doing these rooms on releasing your voice. Because he said, finally, I can speak up for myself. I found the confidence to speak. And maybe you didn't realize, but my voice had been stifled by my own trauma and the fact that I've been trying to handle my autism, and people don't always get how autism affects people. He said, but my effect was a strangulation of my voice. But being in your rooms released that. So that was powerful for me. And that's part of the reason why I do what I do.
That's amazing, because he like changing someone's life like that, and then hearing them, because, you know, sometimes you might come across somebody, we might work with somebody, and in kind of the work I do, they say, oh, you know, thank you for the help that you've given it, but then they might go off, but sometimes you never get that chance to see how them putting things into practice, for example.
Yes.
So the fact that you got to hear him and he got to thank you, but you actually heard it live, that what you were saying helped him, I think it's just so amazing.
Yeah, to hear it live, to hear that actually someone had transformed. They had had a transformation experience.
Yes.
And you are part of that. You
have
driven that by the work that you do. And sometimes, you say, we do this work, we underestimate the value of the work even that we're doing, because people don't feed back. They don't tell you enough. Like, this was great. This helped me. This changed me. So you're doing it and you're almost thinking like, yeah, I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it. And suddenly someone comes through and that gem, okay? So business is called Hidden Gems. That gem just floored me. I was like, yes, this is the reason why I'm going to keep doing this. This is the reason why I need to impact more people, because I need more people like this person to say, this has changed my life.
Yeah, and that's powerful, because I was going to say that when you're doing like you're doing, when you stand in what you're supposed to be doing, it's like there's people waiting on you to do what you're doing, for them to, it's like we don't realize sometimes, just do what we're supposed to do, because there's people waiting to be encouraged, to be, you know, touched by you. And so it's not just for us, it's for people behind. And I'm saying that, for example, you know, I was speaking to somebody recently and they were saying, oh, you know, that day we met, oh, I feel like God sent you because I was just thinking about something, and I was having a good long chat with them today, and they was just saying, oh, thank you. And the person was like, the last time I spoke to the person was just really upset and miserable and just frustrated. And when I spoke to them today, they were just saying, oh, just, you know, they just were so uplifted. And I feel that sometimes, as you were saying, like, we don't know or we don't realize that what we're doing is for somebody else a lot of the time and not for us, or how it's going to impact, and we don't get to hear how it helps people.
Yeah. And we don't need to hear, but it does give you that sense of like, wow, this has been great. This was a really good thing to do. And the feedback just makes you want to work even harder to help more people.
Yes, very true. Actually, you're very right. And you're right. Yeah, it's true. We don't need to, because it's not about, we don't do it for that reason. We're doing it because it's what we do. So yeah, I agree totally with what you say there. And so can you tell me about how in other ways, or how you're doing the coaching? And you said you want to coach 1,000 people, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
This year?
this year I want to touch the lives of 1,000 people. And so one of the ways I'm doing that, I've just finishing a book that I'm writing.
Ooh.
So my book is How to Release Your Voice and Speak Powerfully. And I designed the book, which has my stories in it, as well as great advice, I
Oh.
believe, on how to actually public speak more effectively.
Oh.
So I could have just done a blase book, which was, you know, how to public speak. But I thought I would lace it with my stories and stories about my life and how I have made that transformation in public
Right.
speaking. And so I start off with my childhood. I go through, talk about some of the issues around anxiety, how I've dealt with abuse, you know, so all of that prevents you from speaking well. But I was very lucky. My dad was a great speaker. And so I
Oh,
get to
okay.
talk about my dad who passed away in 2020, also
Bless.
in the book. So
Okay.
it's a little autobiographical, but it, you know, it's a chance to really talk about what I love, which is speaking well and how you get that voice out. And so that's part of the work in
Yes.
catching that number of people. But I'm also doing some masterclasses, which I started earlier this year. My masterclass is really to like a snapshot of the book. It is
Oh,
a chance
okay.
for people to actually do some of the work in the book with me
Oh,
and to
interesting.
grow. And so I did the first set of masterclasses, and really people gave me such great feedback. I was like, now I need to write the book. So I've been day and night writing this book,
Right.
day and
Yes.
night. I can only
Yes.
tell you, like, I've been burning the midnight oil to get this book completed. My goal is to complete it and have it on Amazon by the end of February. And
Oh,
so I'm definitely on target. I handed it this morning over to my sister, who's retired, to proofread it.
okay.
So she took it. She was like, when did you start writing a book?
Oh.
I was like, long time. But it's almost ready. It's almost ready. So I'm really excited about the book. It's my very first book.
Oh.
And I'm hoping it's going to help some people to change their lives, and that they will want to, because I've made it very short and snappy. It isn't like a book with 150 pages or something. It really
Okay.
just has 54 pages, but each chapter is an action driven chapter, which kind of shows out what you can do and then encourages you to do it. So I really want people to take action as a result of reading the book. Not that they just go through and go, I love all the stories and da da da. My thing is like, now get up and do something, because this is what I want to drive you to do, is to take action so you can make a change. And not only will the book drive that, but also if people attend the classes which are going to go with the book, then we get to really work on the doing, which is the biggest part of public speaking. You can public speak all day, but if you really want to get to the top of level of that art, you've got to practice it time and time again. You've got to go out there and expose yourself in lots of different environments and speak. And the more you speak, the more you will improve on your art. There's no shortcut to it. You're not just going to get up one day and be a marvelous speaker. And even though my dad was an amazing speaker, he was really, I really look up to him. His name was Martin Luther.
Oh, lovely.
Like Martin Luther, but his name was Martin Luther Rodney, which is my surname. And so the Martin Luther comes from Martin Luther the Reformer.
Right.
It's the same name that Martin Luther had, who King Jr. had. He had that name. That's where it came from. It's a religious, Martin Luther the Reformer was a Christian.
Right.
And so my dad was very proud of his name, but also I believe he felt it gave him superpower speaking qualities. And he used those. He actually, you know, he could get up and speak in a group of 1,000 people and flawless presentation. Wow. But the power was really about practice. Behind the scenes, I remember my dad staying up very late at night and practicing his sermons again and again. Before he had to speak on a Saturday morning, he'd be like, all night, be reading those sermons and making sure he gets it right. And of course, when he goes out and delivers, he delivered well. So that, for me, you know, was testament to the fact that you've got to do the work. And in anything that you want to master, you've got to do the work.
Yes, definitely. I'm very excited for the book. I will be purchasing a copy of the book. I'm very excited. And end of January, said. End of February. Here's me, end of January. End of February. I'm excited for it. I'm really interested to to read it. And I like the concept of having the exercises there and working from the book. So, and well done to you for writing a book.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's amazing, and it's what's needed. And the fact that you said it's because when I was thinking of a book on public speaking, I don't know what I imagined, but you said it when you said, oh, it's a short book and there's exercises and it's kind of like it sounds something that would be that I would like, something that I think okay, it's not going to be too complex for me maybe to understand, something that I can and having exercises in there as well, practical. So I like the sound of it. I like the sound of how it can, you know, be used. So I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you.
For sure, coming up. I just want to say, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Let's Chat with Shirley B, and I'm joined here today with Ebony, speaker and coach, and we've just been talking about her book that'll be coming out end of February, which is about next week. Next week. Yeah, of public speaking, talking about her coaching and how she helps people to find their voice. So we're talking about, you know, we're going to be talking about different things, passion and purpose. And at the beginning, we were talking about side hustle. So this being the side hustle, that sounds like it's going to be the main squeeze, or should I say the main thing very soon. Yeah, side hustle. What people, so, you know, and it's not going to be in order of everything, but I'm saying, but one thing I was saying, people are seeking passion, purpose. What do they want to do now? I think more than ever. And why do you think that is, that people are talking more about passion, purpose, side hustles?
Yeah, I think because the world is changing, isn't it? The world is changing. We've got recession on. Things are harder than they ever were. Food in the shop is very expensive.
Yeah.
Tell you, Kevin, you don't even want to buy like takeaway anymore because
Oh
it's
my
too
gosh.
expensive. Do you
I
know what
tell
I mean?
you.
So basically, we've had to go back to basics, I think, and start to think about how we're going to survive this new world that we're in, and the
Yeah.
stresses that we're suffering. So how do we get through it? And I think the days of like you have one job doesn't work anymore. And even if you're an entrepreneur, you probably find that you're doing more than one or two businesses, because one business is not going to keep you going or sustain you. That, you know, because people have less money to spend. Some people are still spending lots, but it depends on what you're putting out there. So yes, we've got to be a bit smarter with how we create income. I mean, I've always thought, yes, it'd be great to be an author and move completely away from the day job, but I don't know if that's going to happen soon. But I'm just working and seeing how we go. But in terms of a mind shift, I think I've already left the workplace.
They just don't know yet.
They don't know yet. Yeah, so, you know, pretty much I'm hanging in there until I can make this next move work. But it's really finding what really resonates with your soul, because when you're thinking from the heart space as opposed to thinking about money from the mindset of like, I just want money, it's a different kind of work that you'll produce. And anything that comes from the heart is going to be different to something that just comes from the head. So
yes,
I'm really trying to think and work from a heart space. The stuff I want to do is to help people. And I've always been in the helping process because I've been working for social housing for a long, long time in the UK. So yeah, it's an opportunity to think bigger, to think smarter, to work smarter and less hard. You know, smarter and not harder. That's the plan.
yes,
But we can all make it. But if you don't, I don't think you beat yourself up about it. I think as long as you're creating, you're being innovative in some shape or form, you're trying to realize whatever it may be, even if it's just putting eyelashes on people's eyes. Do you know what I mean? Or, you know, you do nails or something. Whatever your little thing is, whatever your little hustle is, that hustle can be a big hustle. And the great thing about the internet now is, you know, if you social media can, you know, really you can put an idea in there and it can just grow and manifest in a way that you didn't imagine, because we've got a global market. We're not just limited to the UK anymore. You put something out there, and, you know, I'm talking in Clubhouse to people in America, in Japan, in China, in, you know, Australia, all over the world. And so how are we taking advantage of those international markets? It will be about how we're managing our mindset and how we're really networking in a bigger way. So networking is not just getting on Eventbrite and going to your local event. It's also, you know, getting on your Eventbrite and connecting online to people apart from the dating world, to people right across the world. And saying, look, hey, I've got something that you could share in, and how can we work together? How can we collaborate to ensure that we all benefit? And that's what I love about LinkedIn and all the social medias. You know, I even recently started doing TikTok.
Oh.
I was like, let me try TikTok, because people have been on TikTok a long time and I ain't been on TikTok.
Yeah, I haven't been on TikTok.
I'm not even joking. I was like, how do I do TikTok? Because everybody on TikTok are dance thing. And I don't really see anything else. But then I was talking to my friend and she was like, no, there's a serious side to TikTok. You can.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Put, your stuff on that isn't just about dancing. You know, you can put some music and you can put some serious stuff around your business. And I've been trying it for the last few weeks. And I finally got about, I don't know, I think about 36 followers, which isn't a lot.
Oh.
But I only started a couple of weeks ago.
That's good.
And so, yeah, social media is good. I started my YouTube channel 6 months ago. My YouTube channel has got over like 1.8K followers,
Oh,
which I'm really
amazing.
proud of
In 6 months.
in 6 months.
Well done.
And yeah, and that's getting good guests on my shows that I've been doing on Hidden Gems Academy.
Mhm.
And so that's been working really well for me. So, you know, it really is using everything you've got. And I don't feel like I'm even working at the capacity of other people. There
Mhm.
are other people out there who are working a much higher ratio than I am because I'm doing it's my side hustle, not my main hustle. But
Right.
if you want anything to become kind of transfer from being or make that transition from being a side hustle to a main hustle, you got to put more work in.
Yes,
And instead of watching TV, be on your hustle. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
That's what you have to do. Focus.
Focus. We need to come off the, unless it's for work, the Instagrams and the,
Yes.
we can use it, but it can be something that can take away so much time. And you're right, if you want to change it from the side to the main, it's going to take graft and commitment
Yeah.
um to get to
You
that
put the
point.
hours in.
Yeah, you have to put the hours in, because the thing is, it might be sacrificed let's say, like late nights, early mornings, but at some point that will change from late nights to early mornings, because you'll get there. So it's the uncomfortableness, I should say, it has to be there for a while, but that will, change
Yeah.
after a while, if you just kind of like not just see it as a thing of, oh, I can't bother to do this. It's like we need to see no, that'd be an end goal, but we're going to have to put in the graft. And having in 6 months, that you got 1.8
1.8K followers.
That's really good. And maybe after, because we're going to go up to a short break shortly, but I've been getting tongue tied, enjoying the conversation so much so far. And but I'd love to hear about the Hidden Gems channel, and more about what we can do to kind of like get ourselves into that main hustle. And yeah, and just kind of like how we find what it is, because some people just, they don't know what it is they want. So maybe talking about a bit about that, like how do you find what your purpose or passion is, or what it is you want to do. So we'll stop here for a short break, and please join us in a few minutes. We'll be back soon. Okay, I'll stop it aside. How's it going so far?
Going fine, going fine. Love it. Do you want me to break this? We can pause. Okay.
Welcome back to Rotation UK Radio. We have come back after a short break, and I'm joined here with the lovely Ebony, speaker and coach. We were talking about side hustle, her coaching, her book that's coming out next week. Whoop whoop. Very excited for. And we're just ending. Also, the last half was about Ebony being on TikTok, and her, ways that we can like need to get out there, be networking to get ourselves out there, to change from the side hustle into the main hustle. And then we were talking on the end bit just about your YouTube channel, Hidden Gems. So what is Hidden Gems about?
Okay. So Hidden Gems is really about those people who are making a difference, who are hidden. So
Okay.
there are people in business, there are people who are doing great things in the world. And I wanted to use the channel to showcase real leaders, leaders in our community, leaders in other communities who are doing some great things. And you'd regard them as a gem, but some gems can't be seen because they're behind the scene doing all this work. And maybe their profile hasn't got to A-list yet, because we're in a culture where we only see celebrities. Do you know what I mean? If you're not less than a celebrity, no one have time for you.
No.
Like, how many followers do you have? You
Yeah.
only have that many followers. Oh, you're nobody. Basically, basically, that's the world we're living in, isn't it? No one's
So
got
true.
time for you unless you got masses of people behind you. So we're all
So
looking
true.
for followers. Well, some people are looking for followers. I am looking for those special people that you wouldn't normally pick up because they're not an A-lister. But they have, for example, I had a mum on who she had 2 young babies and she'd started a business selling baby clothes and all sorts of like special things for babies. And she was doing this and she just had a baby. I was literally,
Wow.
friend, how are you working like this? And she said, my business is for my baby. It's for my children. And so she was using her children to promote that business, you know, and connecting with other mums who had just had babies, making sure she got the right things, the kind of clothes they want for their children. You know, she'd gone into little designer things as well. She had designed some of her own stuff for mums and dads, and it was beautiful to see the energy and the passion and the effort going into that business, which I wouldn't have thought of doing when I was having my kids. I didn't have time for that. It was a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah.
So committed. I was like, you're my hidden gem. You got to come on. You got to tell me about what you're doing. So another example may be a young lady that I interviewed recently who is living in Nigeria. She's an American who went to Nigeria to meet a guy that she had been talking to online, and he proposes the first day she gets there. She ends up living in Nigeria, has been doing a business in Nigeria, yes, as a publisher. So she's a self-publisher. She's doing really well at what she's doing, and she's a hidden gem.
Wow.
So if you go onto my TikTok, you'll see she's the very first video that I shared, and she's talking about why am I a hidden gem. So there are so many people that are literally unknown. You know, I even had a white guy who, English person, who is a hidden gem. So I don't just pick people from my community.
Yeah.
The reason why he was a hidden gem is that he had a speech impediment.
Okay.
When he was born. And the difficulty for him was trying to get qualifications, to get an education. And although we always say, you know, white men are privileged because it's easier for them to get employment, his problem was with that disability, you know, it was a no-no for a lot of people. But he got past it. He managed to get a degree. He then managed to get his master's and then a PhD.
Wow.
And he is now, CEO for a massive company in the UK, you know, doing cancer research. And so it was amazing interviewing him and finding out what his process was in getting to where he is in, you know, in life. And his thing was like, people wrote him off by the time he was 16 because of this speech thing, but he didn't write himself off. He decided I could still do this. I can still achieve a great career. I just have to keep working at getting past this issue with, you know, my speaking. And it still stutters, you know, he stuttered a little bit when he's nervous, it comes out. But it was great to hear the journey that he's been on, and that, you know, there are things that will happen in life, but we can always overcome with work and determination. Yes. And so those are the people that I choose for my Hidden Gems Academy. And so I'm going to keep interviewing. The plan is to interview more people because I think people want to follow my channel because it's just great information from ordinary people who are leaders in their own way.
I like that. I like that. The fact that you call it hidden gems, because as you said, unless you're got what, like over, I know, certain thousands of followers, no one's interested. No one cares. Nobody cares.
Who are you?
Sorry, what's your name? Why are you messaging me for? And it's so sad because, you know, sometimes there's people that have I don't know, 50,000, 70,000, 100,000. Doesn't mean they've got more information or there's better information than you're getting somebody with, I don't know, 1,000 followers. So it's so sad that we're just living in this time of, as you said, who are you? If you haven't got, social media dictating that. So I love the fact that you have these people on sharing their stories. And I loved all the stories, but I love the one that you're saying about the young mother, having two babies and starting a business. Like, that's enough to just push if somebody was thinking, oh, I want to start a business and might not have any children, to think, well, if I'm not doing anything, she's doing something with two young babies. It's really encouraging to have these stories.
What excuse do you have?
None whatsoever. And that's the thing. Sometimes we need to be reminded, oh, I'm too tired or blah, blah, blah. But someone's out there with two babies to look after and has a business.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And she's found a business that works with her children.
Yeah.
Where she can give something back, and she's producing something that she can say, look, my children wear these. This is not just for you, but look at my catalogue of things that are also for my own babies. Maybe amazing.
So what do you think what can we do, or would you say, to be less hidden?
Yeah. Well, I think putting yourself out, taking some risks. Some of us are risk averse.
Yeah, that's true.
Taking some risks to just be seen, to be visible. Yeah. And I know that doing this business and even going around and doing the interviews that I've been doing, I had to address that for myself. Do I want to be visible? Do I want people to see me? Do I want people to see me on Facebook and TikTok? Be a grown woman. What am I doing on these things? People she don't have nothing to do. What's she doing out there? Do you know what I mean? She ain't got millions of followers. What she did out here? So, in the street, it's getting past all of that. How do I look? Like, I have to try fix up. I'm going on TikTok. People are going to look at me and then think, like, what's she wearing? I saw that last week. Do you know what I mean? So you have to get over yourself. Nobody cares that much. And so the pressure you're putting on yourself is your pressure. Do you have a story to tell? Do you have something that you're doing that the world needs to know about? Well, if you keep it to yourself, it doesn't help anybody. Closed mouths, that's what they say, don't get fed.
Yes.
So you're closing up your mouth and thinking that people are going to come feed you. What? Just because who are you? Yeah. They don't know who you are. They don't know what you do. They don't know what they don't know anything about your journey. So they got no reason to invest in you. So believe in yourself and say, look, what I'm doing is valuable. I don't care what anybody thinks. I used to care when I started doing my radio shows, and they used to go out on Facebook on a Sunday afternoon. I used to be like, oh my God. Everybody can see me laugh. And I didn't look that good last week. What am I wearing this time? Because people, they're quick to tell you how you did look. Yes. Yeah, they didn't listen to nothing you said, but they had to tell you how you looked. I don't know what you was wearing the other week. Why you was wearing that? What color was that?
And the shirt did lean side and the collar never
lean, and I saw that, So that's the world we're in. So you have to get over yourself and go, like, put my stuff out there. And I started doing my videos on YouTube. Some of them were dark, you could barely see properly. And I haven't deleted them.
No, keep them.
They're part of the journey.
Exactly.
They've got better with time. I understood about lighting after time.
You get a ring light?
We get some light. We get ring light in the I understood more about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I wasn't trying to put out the black pictures, like no one can see me, like see my guests anymore. Yeah. As you look through the videos, they're getting better and better. They're not perfect yet, but we're all in a journey to improving over time. Yes. And so don't take yourself too seriously. Do you know what I mean? I said, like, I'm only putting it in certain places where people can't see it too much. Go on YouTube if you want to see it, because really I'm not putting it out there to too much social media. But you want people to see your guests. You got to be able to put yourself out and not be afraid of the eyes, because it comes everywhere. Everywhere we're under scrutiny. Listen, you drive a car, your picture's taken about 100 times a day. Like,
yeah,
this is how it is. This is the world we're in. So let it go. And just
yeah.
right, I've got something to give the world. Let's give it. Let's do it. How can we do it? Yeah.
So true. I love that. Get over yourself, 100%. Because if we continued in that way, we'll never get any. Oh, it will never be at a right time, or the way that we look at the right. We look right today, so we'll do. It has to be that journey. It's not a right time, and we're going to look this way. Just continue, and the right people will be listening.
Yeah. People who want that message and believe in what you're talking about and could do with that, even if it's one person. Just think about it. I just want one person to be touched by what I'm doing. If one person, I'll tell you, when I started my Ebony Empress shows back in 2015, I did about 500 shows and on audio. Yeah. And people used to call in mainly from the US on a Tuesday afternoon and a Thursday for them on the way home from work. And I didn't realize that was their drive time until I went to Miami in 2012. I'm in Miami in 2012, sat in a restaurant, and this woman comes up and she says, "You're Ebony Empress." I was like, I'm a celebrity.
Paparazzi.
Surprised me. One person. Yeah. And she said, "You know how I knew it was you?" She goes, "Because you look the same. But also," she said, "every Tuesday and Thursday, I listen to you on the way home. And I could hear you speaking at this table." And she was in the next table. And she goes, "And I knew the voice straight away before I saw you."
Wow.
I knew it was you. So she's saying, "Can I tell you, they're really lovely shows, and please keep doing them, because I listen on my way home in the car." And so, yeah. But one person.
Can you imagine?
I was like, look at you guys. I'm a celebrity.
Celebrity.
One person.
Walk with your dark glasses so no one can
recognize me. Come on, man. Yes. One is enough. You don't need. Yeah.
And that's so encouraging. And that she wants you to keep on, because it's, as I said, we do things, but it's not always, or say not for ourselves, for other people, because she's encouraged by what you were saying in your show.
Yeah. And she's like, "Keep it up, keep doing it," But yeah, it's an experience.
I like that, because also, like, sometimes you might feel a bit discouraged of, as you said, like, who's listening or what they're going to like or blah blah, but just to keep on going, because there's people behind us just waiting for us to go and to keep on going. I was going to say, if somebody wants to know, if somebody doesn't know, say if they want to, if they don't know what it is, would you say, if their passionate or purpose is, and they're kind of stuck, what would you say? But they want to do something different, and maybe in a job that they don't like, or maybe just in a place of life they're just stuck. What would you say to somebody?
I'd say challenge yourself to do something that is outside of your comfort zone. You can only find your purpose if you start to challenge who you are. And out of that, whatever you go through in getting to, learning that new thing, or I tell you what it was for me, finding my purpose was running the marathon. The marathon actually told me what my purpose was. And running is completely different to speaking.
Right.
But what happened when I did the marathon was that I trained for 2 years. It's just under 2 years. And I started off by doing it because my daughter wanted to lose weight. So she asked me to run with her in the mornings to help her to lose weight. And we went through all that journey of, starting, trying to get to like the first mile without dying.
That dying. Yeah.
The first mile without dying. Let me tell you, that took a long time to be running for 1 mile without like stopping, gasping for breath, you know, suffocate, feel like we're suffocating, you know, all the rest of it, laying on the floor, like just.
I like the noises.
Let me tell you, I remember one morning when we actually achieved the mile, we could run non-stop. Before that happened, the first day we ran, we stopped about 10 times on the way to the park, and the park was only about a mile away, right? So that's how unfit we were. So we got into the park, we're laying on the floor, exhausted, right? Trying to get our breath back. And we look up and we see this old man who's about 80 running around the park.
Wow.
Like, nothing happened. Looking at us like, what's wrong with you?
Oh, wow.
And I said to my daughter that day, I will never be this unfit in my life again. It will never happen to me again. I will never allow it. But it you know, it really motivated me to do better. To start to get my fitness going. And we did 2 miles and we got to 3 miles. And when she got to about 3 miles, she lost the weight.
Oh, wow.
The weight dropped off. And I then had fallen in love with running, and I started to do more. So I then went up to 6 miles. And when I got to 6 miles, I decided I'm going to start doing some 10Ks. In fact, she could do 6 miles as well. And I said, to do the first 10K with me, I wanted to do, I think Tessa Sanderson was actually organizing one at Olympic Park in Stratford.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to run in that one. So I was like, let's do it together. She's like, no, I'm going to Ghana. My boyfriend is taking me to Ghana. Let me go to Ghana. Like, I lost the weight now. I look good. I don't need the running. I don't need it, Mom. I'm all right. Okay. I don't know why you're still running, because you didn't need it anyway in the first place. I'm like, listen, I am going to do my 10K. So I went for the 10K and learned so much on the journey. Learned some guy I was following. I was tracking this guy, young guy, thinking, this is my marker. Let me run behind this guy. He collapses. They had to call ambulance for him because he hadn't done no training.
Okay.
So I was literally like, oh. Then I ran off with these 3 women. I see these 3 women, African women running. I'm like, oh, my sisters, let's run together. They're running together. They're not running. They're chatting. They're doing all sorts of things. Like, I was like, are you running this race or not? No, they're just having a field day of fun together. So they weren't seriously running. So I had to leave them. Then I found somebody and I thought, right, this is the person. I'm going to follow this person to the end. We get to the park, because you have to run around the park. And there's only about 2 miles left. Man ran off and left me. I was like, we were running together, you know, supporting each other, encouraging each other. He ran off and left me. Because like, I just seen golf like a Steve engine. And so I said, what are you doing? He said, well, I didn't want to get tired. So I decided I better go for it. I was like, you could have told me, you know, just leave me. So all these things happen along the way. But eventually I get to a point where I can do a marathon and my kids are like, you're never going to do it, Mom. That's crazy. But I did. I got injured after 5 miles and I ran 21 miles injured. Yeah. And it took me 6 hours and 4 minutes.
But you did it.
But it was a life changer.
My gosh.
Definitely came out that race realizing that anything I wanted to do in life, I could do it. Anything I chose to do in this life, anything I planned to do, I could do it. Because I found the discipline.
Yes.
Training, getting up in sun, rain, snow, ice. Ice was probably the only thing that stopped me.
Okay.
And running and doing the training and sleeping and eating. And my best friend, she was my accountability partner. And she done run one day in her life, but every day she did, how many miles have you run today? Like, why are you out running? Why are you not out running? Like, literally, come on, girlfriend, when did you run?
Yeah.
I had to ask her one day.
The ones that are not, yeah.
But she was a good accountability partner. She was there for me at the end. And she made sure, you know, I made it. And so it is that thing of like, do you have the discipline? Do you really believe in yourself? Can you focus on your goals? And then you look around and you go like, what else am I good at? What else can I do? It isn't all about running for me, because now I don't run as much as I used to, but I'm goal focused now. I'm disciplined enough to start something and finish it. And so like this book, although it's been a nightmare, I'm determined to get it finished by the end of next week. It will be published end of next week. And whatever I start, my kids kind of go, we're scared for you, because anytime you start something, you see it through, because I do. That's what running has taught me.
Amazing.
And so, you know, just like running, I've started swimming now and different things that I wasn't doing before. Okay. And there's a lot of us who are not swimmers in our community, but we can address it. Do you know what I mean? So whatever it is that you find your hand to do, you know, the Bible says, do it with all your might. And so whatever you feel is your thing, or if you don't have a thing, try lots of different things. Yeah. Eventually something will become the thing that will take you to the next level, because you realize that's the thing that I feel passionate about. That's the thing that makes me wake up in the morning and smile. That's the thing I go to bed thinking about. That's the thing that people love me for. That's the thing that just gives me energy and makes me want to grow wings. And that's what speaking in public is for me. It's not for everyone, but it's for me. So when I found that, I decided, yes, I still do it in my daily work. So I'm getting both sides. I do it for work, and I empower people in work as well to be good speakers. So I'm getting both sides sorted, although I'd like to do the side hustle 100%, but I'm still following my passion in both ways. So it's how you can follow your passion, but find the passion first. What is it that you like? What is it you're passionate about? What are you good at? What can you find your hands to do? Okay, so that was very, very interesting, especially from the running story. I love the running story. I can't believe we are literally practically nearly out of time, but the running story really is really resonating with me of starting something and bring and finishing it and seeing something to the end. And that's how you kind of, like, now with everything you start, and your kids saying they're scared because everything you start, you make sure you finished. And although it was grueling, etc., you did it. So well done on that as well. Literally coming up to the last minute or so. So what would you say in this last 30 seconds to a minute? Can you share where we can reach you? Any last words to encourage our views? And, you know, what could you say in this last minutes of this great conversation? Thank you. Just to say thank you so much for having me today. Really appreciate you interviewing me on your wonderful show. It's been fun. It's been great connecting with you. Oh, you're welcome. But just to say, you know, if people want to find me on social media, it's Hidden Gems Academy. On Facebook, you can also find me on Hidden Gems Academy. You can find me on Instagram, which I need to change, but I haven't changed yet, but it still says Ms Ebony Empress. And I'm on Clubhouse as Ms Ebony Empress. That's also social media. So yeah, if you look out there for Hidden Gems Academy on YouTube, you can see all my YouTube videos, the ones I'm talking about. And yeah, connect with me there. On Facebook, it's up to you. Send me a message. I would love to hear from you guys. Or on TikTok, I'm on TikTok as Hidden Gems Academy. So yeah, enjoy TikTok. Yes, it's a new journey. It's a new journey, but I'm looking for more friends there. So absolutely come and join me and follow me, and I'll follow you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a great conversation, and I've got so much from it. And yeah, so much has resonated with me. And I must say the running story has been the bit that's resonated the most. So and thank you again for being willing to come on. Thank you for your gems, for what you shared. If you are listening in, the shows are Sundays and Thursdays at 7 o'clock. If you have any suggestions, feedbacks, or any comments on today's shows, please email in to rotationukradio@hotmail.com. And we'll see you again next week. Bye. Bye. Thank you.